All right, back to the stream. Great. Sorry. Anywho, welcome back here. Let me make sure we've got this one. All right. Yep, sorry for the delay here. I get back on, just took a little quick snack break there. Here we go. We are back on. So I just kind of wanted to show right now what are the reasons why we're looking at 2025. So you can see that there are a lot of these that are selling for, um, 40 grand still with 30K miles on them, right? So there's not a significant discount. Here's an SDX for 39,000, 22 on it. It's a 2024. That's how I know we can get these at a cheaper price, right? That's how I know I can get them to come down a little bit on their price. So that's how I. So they're talking 54. We're talking more like 51 on the out the door price with no miles on it. And then we're a lot closer. And then also we got to work in your trade on that. So that's the information I'm going to send over to them. I'm going to tell them we need to be like in the 520 to 550 range on a 36-month lease, sign and drive with your truck. And that's how I know we're going to get that additional $3,000 from them. So that, instead of me trying to negotiate all those stupid things, I'm just going to say, look, this is where it needs to be. And then if we want to get in the 400 range, we can easily do that with a couple of $1,000. We can get into the fours. So that's really the best way to do it, because when you really look at what it would cost to buy a used one, you don't really, it's not really anything you're saving on a car payment. I'm going to show you that just right real quick on why that is. Right. So we're on the car loan calculator page right here. So, these trucks that we're looking at are 35, or 39, 38, $40,000, right? Somewhere in that range. They're all new enough where we can finance them for a long enough period of time. We can finance them for 84 months if we need to, right? And we're talking about a 550 monthly payment right there. So, the payment's going to be the same on a new one that it would be on one that's pre-owned with 30,000 miles on it. Just because of how these cars just because of how the trucks hold their value. So in a perfect world on a lease and on a nice truck, even if you go over the miles a little bit, with your residual or the amount you have to buy out the truck for is $35,000, you're in a good spot because these trucks are usually worth $40,000 by the end of the lease, even with miles on them. So uh, that's the thing. I mean, really is a good way to go. That's what I wanted to show that it's, now normally that's not the case. Like so normally, you know, you're looking at up here. Normally you'd have more depreciation out of these trucks, right? So here's the XL package or SDX package right here, $40,000, right, for 25,000 miles. Normally, you would see depreciation significant more, significantly more depreciation, right, on a vehicle. But trucks are just holding their value so well right now because there's a limited amount of inventory because of the 2020 pandemic, and that may not be the case on new cars anymore. Like new cars, we can get good deals on them again, but what we can't get is we still can't get very good deals on used cars. So, you know, in a few years, that'll be different, right? Like once these normal allotments that the lots now have, they have a normal allocations from the, whereas they might have been getting a 75% allocation in 2024 or a 50% allocation in 2023 and so on. Like the closer you were to 2021, the more likely you were to have less cars coming to your dealership. It was bad. I mean, people were charging more than sticker on cars at that time. So we're still seeing, oh, now those cars that were bought new in 2020, 2021, 22, 23, and 24, and are now being sold as used cars are ones where there was less allocation. So there is less of them going around. A couple of years from now, the market should correct itself. So that's, you know, what a pandemic does. But you can see, like, in order to really save money on a truck, you've got to buy an older one, you know. All right, so back in here into our let's go ahead and take a closer look here while I'm waiting for them to get numbers back. Let's take a closer look. On these XLs. So we don't get the price we're looking for on this one. They won't come down enough on the problem is there's just not many of these SDXs. There's only one of them in the state that kind of fits the parameters. Um, Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, we are, hopefully you can hear me. Sorry, I have everything shut down so that way the stream doesn't crash. Um, right now, I'm just to kind of look where, make a comparison to where everybody is. I'm comparing some of these Silverados, and again, I'm just going to do that to get the price down on these Fords, right? Like if they think you could, you're open to a Silverado, then it becomes about price, right? So, that's kind of like where what I'm doing. I'm going to pin a bunch of these F-150s against each other. I'm going to pin a bunch of these Silverados against each other, and that way they know that we're open. And even if we want that one out there, we've got to make them think that we're open to other ones too. So that's how we're going. Competition drives the price. Let's go ahead and turn this down here. So there's 17, with the 8 cylinders in the market here in these double cabs in North Carolina. This is just two of the options here. I didn't even include the work trucks, which is pretty much an XL on the F-150. Um, here's one. This one they've had it for a long time. It's a $58,000 truck that they're trying to dump for 46. There's one for 42. This one was one I was going to definitely call on. It's white, but price is pretty low. I mean, and it's cooler looking than the white F-150. I think the X. Okay, so sorry about that. I had to fix my. Now I got my microphone actually charging right now, so that'll help. Okay, back to the nature at hand. Okay, so right now we're looking at just a quick double cab on these on a Silverado with the 5.7 liter V8. Um, these are ones that they have very competitively priced, and these are ones like they have the correct discounts on them. We can really get a low payment on one, and we're getting one with that V8. So, but I want to be able to put all these guys up against each other. I think you know we can see. So this one should be a low. I should be able to get a really low payment on an LT or a custom Silverado with the 5.7. based on what I'm seeing here. It shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, so these ones here, they have them priced. They have them priced at 45 compared to 55. So, already they're dropping their pants on it. Maybe they're offering more rebates on these right now. Uh, but yeah, I'm going to definitely get you some numbers on one like this, just to you can have my mistake 5 feet, not the 5.7. That's the head. Okay, so got that right there. I'm going to put that in here. That's a nice favorite. Yeah, I mean, Silverados we can do. We could get you into one like that. I got a buddy that works at a um, dealership in Michigan. I can get some prices from him very easily. So yeah, I mean, you can see there's a couple of them in Raleigh, a couple of them in Winston Salem. So we should be able to find one. What are you doing, my glass guy? Okay. All right. Let's. How low can we go? This is going to be the song that I sing these people. When we get this thing locked down. How low can you go? I mean, there's so many of those that I can call all over the place and just absolutely just try to crush it on the deal. Here's one in Concord, which is, if I'm not mistaken, isn't too far from here. It is another white one. God, why are so many white? That's an old one. That's been around. Look, I mean, this one's cool. It's got integrated trailer brake on this one. Heated seats. It's a nice one. Nice when they have those. Yeah, nice. Okay, this one, $58,000 one. They're selling it. Yeah, these might be ones that we can really stab them in the heart. All right, let's just for shits and giggles, just curious what we could do. Bunch of those available still. We were looking at 1,500. We need it. Okay. Okay. So we got a 5.7 liter V8, and we also have a 3 liter V6 diesel that is available on these here. We're looking at 4 doors. Let's see if we can select the trim versions here. Narrow that part down. Okay. 6.4 on this one. Ooh, there you go. Warlock. That's a cool one. Okay. So you can see like even the RAM in a V8 right here is in a position to where there's only so many, right? Like these quad cabs, they just are not out there. There's a Warlock. That's cool. These have the thing about the Ram is that it has a good low and high end torque. They're not bad trucks. Everybody, like I drive. I have a Ram. I love it. It's a great truck, um, but it just will save you a ton of cash. There's one. I wonder what we can. Hmm. Oh boy, what's this one? Oh, it's got the dual exhaust on that one on the back. Yeah, I mean these things are fast off the line too. Like these things get up and go. Got a nice cover on it. I wonder what they lease that one out for. Things is a lot of times you can get credit unions to lease these too, so you can get even lower payments on. Yeah, this one is a $53,000 truck. Be interested to see what the rebates are on that. Here we have some other ones. Let's. Oh, you already went inside, pup, huh? Hey, we have a bunch of these in Florida. Ooh, here's a Warlock in Bergamo. They've had this one forever, 536 days. Man, they want to get rid of this one. Okay, puppy, I'm coming. All right, let's roll. Let's roll. Oh, that's a spraying deadliner on that one. Okay, well, all right. Something like that's sweet too, huh? These standard beds, be super tricky. And these have got some 23s in here. Hmm. Okay, yep. Not exist anymore. That does not exist. It didn't look legit. Let's go to 40,000. Here we go. Now we're back. Oh man, they got a bunch in Wilkesboro. This is what I have right here. It's not four-wheel drive. This one's a 4x4. Exactly what I have right there. And this one, yeah, that's a cheap one. That's a cheap one. And let's see. Here is. Well, here's a nice straight one right here. A white one. They've had this thing forever. God damn. 524 days. This one has everything. A nice touchscreen, everything. Get this thing locked up. You had them that long. They're trying to dump these up. 44K. States. North Carolina. It's up to you. They don't even have any in South Carolina. You can't even get one in South Carolina. There's a couple that you might just be able to just absolutely crush it on one of these. That's not bad. 539-day truck. Holy shit. Let me see this here. Yeah, that one's cheap. What a, I mean, that's a slapjack. You know, 5.7 meter V8, touchscreen, everything, trailer brake integrated. The sucker's going to fold because it is the V8. Not a bad truck. It needs to have one, but that's here nor there. All right, perfect. Chevrolet dot see all offers. Turbo Max. What are the rest of them? 2.9 over 74 months. Yeah, these are looking like they're solid. Okay, cool. I'm just trying to get a good idea of what I can get. Just kidding. Kind of crazy. Starting pretty good. Twenty 25. There we go. Big horn. Doop, 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 doop. Ouch. Oh no, it turned black again. Okay, yep. So definitely just want to take this opportunity to really try to scrape these things down as low as we can on whichever one. This is crazy. I don't wonder how these things are so low. So cheap. $50,000 truck, all the way down to 30. Let me, let's bust in here and just check this out. Okay, so I'm just trying to figure out what new, are any of these trucks that are listed new work trucks? No, I don't want to tell you that. Just go away. It's stupid topics. All right, so new inventory. Hey, let's look at what it is. All right, 170. Body style. Yeah. All right, we're seeing if they've got the deal we're looking for. The king of price. Yeah, okay, those are coming back. Okay, let's see. What the heck? Okay, so they do have some of these help cheat some of these ones that are super low. Let's see. Yeah, that's got a nice bed on that one, nice big long bed. Let's see what they're, it's got the little, got the little, instead of V8, it has the, it doesn't have a very big screen, but it's got the same screen that the one that I have. It doesn't have the long bed, it's got a V8. And they're struggling to get rid of some of these 24s. $3,500. That's insane. Oh, what's this one here? A little bit of a lower tech one as far as its screen. But you got that nice little cage in the back there, and it's already got the toolbox in the back. That's cool if you like that. What's also cool about this one here is that if we can get that price, it's a brand new truck with your bed, V8, everything. Looks like, yeah, for it's pretty much you could finance that one and still be where you close to where you want to be payment wise. That's 37,000. That might that might be a slap shot of a deal. They still have some of these out here. Any 4x4s. Yeah, this is not bad. And they have 34 of these. I think. Let's see which ones these are. Oh yeah, all these quad cats are 4-wheel drive. And we're almost all, I think here's 2023, and they are all 38,000. I have some questions on those on the warranty and everything. We're talking 0-mile cars here. Let me just find out what they are. This one has a 5.7 in it, 400 horse. Okay, these do exist. These are available. Call for details. Okay, so these are tradesmen, so they are, um, these are going to have, the carpet on the inside of them. They're going to have that 3.92 rear axle ratio with the integrated trailer brake controller. So you get, and plus you get 3 key fobs, LED front fog lamp. Yeah, carpet. I mean, this is a little bit nicer version of that work truck in a lot of ways because you get one that has carpet in it, a little nicer than the ones that have the vinyl floor. But this one is a tremendous value because they're selling this one for $11,000 under the MSRP. So I'll see how cheap I can get that, something like that too, because that's 20% off. So don't know. We'll check on it. Wonder what the bank would say on this one if they would lease this one out. I bet a bank would, there's probably a credit union that would lease that 23. You can see the only thing that I don't like about these right here is that get the smaller screen there. Still backup camera, still okay. It's not, still get a decent little front screen there. But this one here is a 3/4 ton, right? Got a 6.4 in it, 3/4 ton. Pretty badass, dude. And they got this one, they got these for like 15 grand off. Look, you get a super long bed here. Okay, cool. So, man, that's a long bed. That is a long bed on that. Wilkesboro. Where's the window sticker for this one? Okay, so this is a 2024 Ram 2500 Tradesman Crew Cab with a 4x4 with a long box. No, we didn't. It said no Ram, but I just wanted to kind of show you that this might be the way to be able to get into one because it's a 2024 and they're selling this one cheap. They're trying to get, they've had it forever. So they don't get rid of it. And right now they're selling it for 44. If that's one that the bank will lease, I'll check, but the bank will lease that one. It'll be a low lease payment because the market on those is the residual on those is going to be probably like 35, at least 35, at least what you would expect from that Ford. So I mean, you're only really instead of paying 17,000, you're paying like 12 or 13,000. So it's going to be a low payment on something like this. It's a Super Duty, tons of space in the cab. Guess what? You've also got tons of space in the back. Big tow mirrors. This thing's boss hog, isn't it? Oh, definitely get the scuttlebutt on that one. We know that those do exist. We do have some of those left. And they are the price even lower. Like we can, I'd want to be able to get one for. It just have to be a freaking crazy, like $200 a month or something. You know what I mean? Like on a lease payment, make it just make a lot of sense. These are collecting dust. So you know there's got to be a lot of holdback. So we've seen the market here, hopefully. And if they could get like something like this. Is this one that got the bigger screen on it? No, damn it. What do I got to do to get that bigger screen? This one right here. That one has the bigger screen. See, that's the thing is that we can just get crazy deals on stuff like this right now. That's all. Okay, yeah, there's just a ton of these in Wilkesboro. There's one in Eden, North Carolina. They had it forever. God, you got to think they want to wash this thing. You know what I mean? Like, there's got to just be a shit ton of holdback on this thing. Awesome. I'm glad it's working. I'm sorry about all the technical difficulties. You can tell that I'm just trying to get this thing up and running here. Man, like you see, like these, the one like this. I'm just for shits and giggles. I'm gonna call and just get some numbers on some of these, just to see how they compare. See if I can get somebody to just really pour one of these out for super cheap. But God, I mean, what a cool thing that would be. To get in. Let me just pull this up here. Trim version. Okay. Let's go to 2,500. Fuck it, 3,500. Let's just see. Yeah, there's usually not a big difference between those, right? So see we gotta look new. We gotta look new. Okay, so yeah, these are all new. As you can see, I mean, there's even 23s and 22s out there. We sit there, we just got to figure out, okay, they have, out of all these, they have 650 are going to be the gas, and then they have 1,600 that have a common diesel in them. Let's just check them both. Four doors, yes, we want four doors. We want to stick with that. Four-wheel drive, yes. And we want to make sure we're getting long. Okay, so since these are all going to be longer ones, we're just going to make this easier on us here and just kind of SLP would be okay. Lone Star. Oh, yeah, let's go through that. Let's go into our North Carolina. It's up to you. It's up to us. Us. Okay, so this will help us kind of see what we have in the area. I mean, these come on, cheap ones. Let's check and see if these exist. Not found. I'll have to check it. Yeah. I'm definitely gonna call this one. 15,000. I mean, they've just reduced the price. They just did it down to 44, 45,000. If they could lease that, that would be a good one to lease. That one's pretty sweet. You get the long wheelbase. Yeah, this one they put a few miles on it already, but it's still, they still punch it as a new one, and then you still get the same warranty and everything on it. But you're getting one like with an 8 foot bed. Yeah, that's a hell of a truck right there. I don't give a rat's ass on this one. This is a nice truck. And let's see what kind of computer we have here. Yeah, it's got the small one, but push button start. 6.4 liter V8. Pull like 15,000 pounds. You can really pull a lot with this. Yeah, so I mean, you're pulling 17,000 pounds with one like this. So you'll pull anything. Badass. Okay, I'll know what to look for there. And there are enough of these. We could lease one. Golly, I just can't imagine the kind of crazy these things. And now I know what payment range we need to be in. We want to be in the four, closest to four that we can get to. We want a V8, then a 5 liter V8 for the 5.3 Chevy or GMC. And just for shits and giggles, I'm going to see how close I can get on one of these two. I'm just curious. It couldn't hurt to just call and say, hey, I'm shopping everybody. You know, oh, here's one, Forest City. They're not trying very hard to get rid of this one. Are they? No, we want to hang on to our inventory. We have a museum at our place. Ooh, this one has a big screen on it. Ooh, is this a diesel? Might be. Oh, this is a diesel. Oh shit. God, they got 7 things they add on. Freight charge, Southern value package, dock fee. Are you fucking serious right now? They've lost it. I'm not paying for any of this. It is a diesel. That is sweet. Thing is, yeah, those have a high residual because like who doesn't want a diesel? And it's a Cummins diesel too. So you know, I don't care. The Cummins is the best. I mean, they build a diesel engine specifically to be a diesel engine. They don't take an engine that they use for a gas engine like a Duramax or a Power Stroke and then turn it into a diesel. It's one that's built from the ground up into that. So that's what makes it such a good choice. There are some of these utilities I don't know. This is probably a no-no, just because you don't want to pull up to a job driving a Japanese car. Okay, so sport type, new type. Let's see what else. Ah, damn. Are you kidding me right now? Here's one of the points for SB 4x4 XD. Decent screen. Decent truck. Let's see, is it a diesel? No, it's a V8. Yeah. So unless you could find a bank for these ones, these wouldn't even lease out that well. I mean, they'd have to be way crazy on a price even on one like this. The only other full size truck option that you could find right now, granted, I know it's better, obviously, to not, not go with the Japanese car, but I just want to make sure we're exploring all of it, every little thing that we can do right now. They're selling a lot more Rams, a lot more Rams. Let's see, 5.5, big bag. Limited crew man. You don't want to limit SR5. Oh, here's one. This would be bad. SR5. Let me show you these real quick. These lease out like crazy right now. These are other ones that we can get a good deal on because they're trying to launch these. So here's the SR5 double cab with an 8 foot bed. Get into a cheap one of these. But that one's like a spaceship. Obviously, you're getting a hybrid, V6 of these right here, but it's a Toyota. So you just put out a lot. They do a lot of high. They're pretty high top, right? So you're getting a great engine, a great vehicle. And the thing that you got to remember is that this is going to give you an 8 foot bed. It's going to give you an 8 foot bed, and it's going to give you an extended cab. I mean, they're just chopping at the bit on these. Like, let's see. When you look at the whatever the added in the past 2 weeks, sold in the past 7. So they've added 14 of them and sold 7 of them. So these are not going to be the ones that are exactly flying off the lot either. And then you could go 6.5 foot bed if you wanted to. You wouldn't even have, and there's a lot more to choose from there. So still a long bed, little bit longer bed, not quite as long, but yeah, I mean, we could lease one of these out for. You could find somebody to order one of these out if you wanted to as well. Not a V8. That's the one thing. Got to get an older one if you want a V8. And the V8s on them, the gas mileage is not good. The gas mileage is terrible. They don't have those, they don't have those engines that shut down the cylinders that aren't working. Fine, you could be using a 4 or even 6 cylinders on a GM or GMC or Chevy or GMC or Ford or Ram product. That's how they are able to get 20 miles on the gallon on a V8 on the highway. You can get like 21 miles if you don't drive it like crazy on the highway. But not with the Toyota. The freaking mileage sucks. All right, back to action here. So, in a nutshell, we can find some solid deals for you on something. I'm going to start now that we know where we need to be on these. I can pin all the other dealerships' inventory against each other and even cross brands. Like when they see that we're kind of open, make them believe that we're open, there's just more ability to drive down the price. So I should hear back from them tomorrow on that F-150. I'm thinking if they do what we're saying, if they do what I ask and everything works out the way that we should on that one, I mean, before any money down, we should be in five, low to mid fives, which ultimately means that you're going to get a couple $1,000s down and get you in the four. Get you a super nice truck. Obviously, for buying pre-owned trucks, the Ford F-150 is always a good choice because if you it is like for longevity of when you buy one new, like you do the maintenance on it. Those you can kind of slip up on a little bit, and it's not quite as much. Whereas like with a Ram or Chevy, like as long as you're on top of the maintenance on a General Motors or a Stellantis product, you'll be okay. That's why, like when you're buying used, you're just hoping that the people drove it right and did the proper maintenance on the vehicle, um, especially on something like that. Now, that being said, we should be able to um, find a new one, which would mean that as long as you're getting it into the shop and getting the service done on it change oil every 5,000 miles. Get it in, rotate the tires every 10,000 miles. Have them do inspection, just like you would on like on a new truck. You got to take the thing in at least once every 6 months, for have them check for things for warranty and things of that nature. Is that's as long as you are the one the only one that drives it, it's going to run fine for you as long as you do the routine maintenance on it. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. We can find one with a low payment. That's not. You can see. I mean, that one. If they're willing to take you, about a $5,000 discount off that black F-150 off the actual $57,000 sticker price, um, we should be at about $3,000 more. We can get $5,000 off that, and that would be, roughly the $3,000 we would need off that truck, off their out the door, their high out the door price. And then we would need them to give us at least 4,000 for your truck in equity, right? If we did that, we are in the low to mid fives on a lease payment. So you can save your money and make a little bit higher payment, or put a few $1,000s down and get into the mid fours, you know, low to mid, somewhere in the fours, with the cut, the 2,500, $3,000 down, as far as payment. So makes it affordable. Wouldn't be surprised if we couldn't find some other fantastic deals on one of these here. Any of these where we can pin them up against other dealerships, other brands, we can motivate these people, especially on these ones that have been a lot for 100 days, 200 days. The ones that we're looking at are the ones that are, quite frankly, in a little less demand. It's pretty easy to see because, I mean, like, for when you look at it, back into this F-150 here, when you look at it, there is, okay, so most of them that you're going to see out of the 208,000 of these, most of these are going to be XLT, 4x4s, right? And then the second most out of that, out of the 208,000, that's 5.5 foot box, Super Crew. All these have 5.5 box, 19,000 STX. Uh, there's a Raptor 4x4 Super Crew, 5.5 foot box. So like when we don't get, we got to go down here to XL Super Cab and get 6.5 foot box. And out of 200,000 of them, there's only 2,600 of them, right? And that tells you about the demand on these, right? So right here, and if you want an 8 foot box on a Ford, guess what? You're getting a um, regular cab. Hate to say it, but yeah, it's just not even. You just can't even get a used one. Or here, let me narrow it down. Yeah, I mean, you can't even get, you got to get a regular cab. If you want a long box, you got to buy either a regular cab or got to get a 3/4 ton. As you can see here. So it starts out here of all the ones, even narrow it down to 4-wheel drive. So 102,000 new ones, new F-150s. And you can see right here that um, you're starting out here, of course, XLT crew with 5.5 foot box. Out of 100,000 of them, 36,000 are those. 21,000 are Lariats. So we're over half. And then we have the SDX. That brings us to about 3/4 of all the ones that are going to fall in this over 3/4 of them. Probably about, what, like, well, actually, yeah, no, yeah, just like 76,000. About 3/4 of them are going to be 5.5 foot box within that. Then you also have these Tremors, which is another 5,000, a Raptor, so another 10,000. You see, you don't even get down here until you get to the regular cab with an 8 foot box. That's just a small cab up in the front, big box. Then you got to get down to STX Super Cab 4x4 with 6.5 foot box. There's 1,600 out of 100,000 trucks. So you can see it gets trickier and trickier as we go down on these here. So they're out there. We can find them, and there's still enough of them to pin them up against each other. And the other advantage is that they're a little bit lower demand than obvious by the numbers. They just didn't make as many of them. So that also helps me when I'm talking to them. Like, listen, you've had this Ford on your lot for 200 days. Like, I see all the fancy pricing and all this other crap, but this is where we need to be. That'll work on one of them, whether it's that one or another one out of state if you like that one. But I'm gonna call them on not just the Fords. I'm gonna call on all the other ones and just kind of when we get close on one, I'm just gonna just see if we can just grind them uh, down to a nub. So yeah, I'm gonna tomorrow is gonna be another day where I'm just focusing on getting calls and getting numbers on these. I've started to get some numbers in on them, and so far they're looking like they normally do. These numbers are always going to look kind of these numbers are always going to kind of look a little bit high at first when they send us your first numbers. They're always going to try to shoot for the moon, but I can get the information I need in order to figure out what the actual payment is. So not a problem. But I just wanted you to see what dealerships will send out as their first offer on things, just so you can see how they go about doing their business. And let's see how low we can get that black one to. Just curious and to see whether you go with that one or not. I guarantee you we can get that sucker down a lot further than where they were. So stay tuned. Let's see what we can get.